family. Hello, and welcome to my channel. It's good to see you all. Today I want to do something. Oh, hello, lovelies. I want to continue the series that I was doing on the Southeast Woodland Indians. I found this interesting article in encyclopedia.com, and we left off on a previous session, but now we're on the narrative traditions and cosmology. So I want to continue with this particular section. I'm going to put a link to this article. Let me go back up here. I know it's long ways. I just don't want to get lost. But the title of this article is, let me go back up here. North American Indians of the Southeast Woodlands. And it was copyrighted in 2005. And like I said, this is part number 3 of this Southeast Woodland Indians series. And so I just want to go ahead and finish this continuation because I like this article because it talked about a lot of things that took place in the past with our ancestors. I also love this article because it talks about the culture and also shows exactly what, or give you an idea of what our ancestors might have experienced while, prior to colonialism and during colonialism, so we can have a better picture of what's going on. To me, this was a pretty good article. I see it as a foundation, as a way for us to get some ideas. Some customs and traditions, have been lost, of course, because of the indoctrination that took place. And so now it's up to us to learn and figure out and try to get a better idea of what took place and what kind of cultures that our ancestors did, so we can repatch or reconnect. That's the best way to put it, to reconnect to our ancestral roots, so we can have a legacy for our family, and for the children. And I thought this was a good reference to get you started or have an idea of where to get started at. But before we start on this particular article, I wanted to share this book again. Oh, you guys, this is an awesome book. The American Indian Almanac by John Upton Terrell. I wanted to start off with this. I'm sorry if y'all see my hair. I just washed my hair. I got conditioner in it. But anyway, I'll just letting y'all know. But this book is really, really good. And it has some really great information about the Woodland Indians. And I want to share one story with you all. It's on page 117. It's called The Stories of the Earth. I like this one because it talks about what how it possibly was for the prehistoric, during his prehistoric times. I wouldn't say prehistoric, the Paleo Indians, let's just say that. When the Paleo Indians was in existence, and probably, some of the things they experienced and and this book shares the story. It's called Stories in the Earth. Pretty much what the archaeologists found and how things were handled with the different tribes around the Southeast Woodlands. And it starts here. It says, they were small bands wandering through the forests of uplands and valleys and even into the mountains in their internal search for food. They were there in a region that would become the southeastern United States, with great mammals of Pleistocene age were alive, and they hunt them in the manner of their contemporaries who lived in the Southwest, that is, with similar flutes, stone points, and spears, and atlases, but there was no notable difference in hunting methods of the two wide separate separated people. At various sites in the southeast, archaeologists found bones of Ice Age animals and man-like artifacts. Large numbers of stones have been found. In the southeast, there were many bogs, especially in the lowlands bordering streams. It is believed the stones were used as missiles thrown to frighten the immense animals and stampede them into swampy places where they would become mirrored and could be slain with comparable ease. I like this paragraph. Starting off with this paragraph, they give you an idea of what it was like during the Ice Age. And I think for so many of us, we did not realize they were talking about us because we always thought they were talking about the Mongoloids. They said paleo. They never give a description of the paleo Indians. They never acknowledged that they were Aborigines. They just put them down as paleo. And I did another video explaining what the meaning of paleo means. It was some scientist that worked under Darwin's, one of his clients, that actually went in and changed the name for into paleo. I think it was palea, but it changed it to paleo in order to change the name. And when you translate, it's like to make pale stone age or stone history. And so it was a way of trying to brainwash the history books, just speaking it into existence and everything. But that's a whole nother ball game. But I just wanted to share that with you all of how it took place and why it is that we did not know that this is our ancestors that they're speaking of. And not to also say that also, there were centuries where our ancestors did not speak English due to slavery and everything because it was against the law, and they killed or tortured people who knew how to read and write. It was against the law. They didn't want us to know what they were writing about us. And now that we're starting to open our eyes and starting to catch up with some things, we're starting to see what actually took place and have a better understanding of what took place. But let's continue. It says the dust confessed to science, but does not reveal all the secrets. Always mysteries remain to be solved. See, I hate it when they say that. Mysteries to be solved. They always write it like it's a mystery and what happened to these people. And these people are us, the American Aborigines, aka African Americans. It says it cannot be said when Homo sapiens first reached Southeast, men had been hunting there at first and they were in the far west. Nor is it told by the routes that crossed the Mississippi and spread out through the rich country until they were halted by the Atlantic Ocean. Probably they moved into the Southeast over many courses, but even the main trails of the migrations were established, for countless ways were open to them. But I'm going to skip down. It said that there was at least 10,000 years of assertion to consider minimal dates, but human beings dwelt on a part of the continent 3, 4, 5 times as large as these. There are no reason to think that they were not in Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, and Carolinas, and the Virginias at the same time. So these are the places, you all, that and it's a map in this book. This is a really good source. It tells you where they were: Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, Carolinas, and Virginia. At that time, exactly where they were finding these artifacts, And illustrated down here is talking more about the ancestors and everything. It says here, their digs and everything. It says here the stage called Paleo by archaeologists is generally dated from 20,000 to 10,000 years ago. In 1951, and that's the dates that dated that. You see that? It says the Paleo Indians were generally dated from 20 to 10,000 years ago, according to this book. And they just went into details and then explain what took place on each site and what they discovered. no general overview. And I don't want to bore you all. And it says here at the bottom, I'm going to read this last paragraph in this section. It says some other southern states has not been so neglectful in diggings as South Carolina. See, that's why it's important to us to understand our history. According to this book, they said that there was some negligence going on with the South Carolina with the artifacts. Let's see, I'm not gonna have time to read this whole thing, but I'm gonna just read a little bit more. It says Tennessee excavators made notable discoveries of prehistoric people in moccasins being Nick Jack Reservoir, Tim Ford's Reservoir, Lake Chickamauga. Members of the Archaeological Society of Virginia spent 9 years on a survey flew to East Points found in the Commonwealth. Okay, let's draw it down. It says here, at the Hardaway site in the Yadkin River, paleo points have been uncovered, points of ancient types far west that have been found in Alabama. The Mississippi Womack Mound is an important site. See, you guys, in Mississippi, it's a good site. It's an important site. Indeed, in every southern state, there are. Listen here, you guys. This is key. I'm gonna highlight this. It says, indeed, in every southern part, there are paleo Indian sites in which points called Eastern Fluted have been discovered. The people were there. We still here. The chief question to be answered is how long? Oh my goodness, these folks are full of it. And here they admit in this last paragraph that, and this is on page 120, that the Paleo Indians was all over the Southeast. So the Paleo Indians are the Southeast Woodland Indians, in other words. Okay, that was mentioned in this book. This is a good reference right here. Y'all want to check out this book. This is a good reference too. But anyway, I think that's very important knowledge to have, and have more supportive evidence that the we as American Aborigines, the Paleo Indians, the AKA African Americans, were already here. And let's go over here to this part on the narrative traditions and cosmology. And for those who are not familiar with cosmology, cosmology is a science of origin that develops in the universe. Modern astronomy is dominated by the Big Bang Theory, which brings about observational astronomy and particles physics. And that's it. So we're going to go over some of the beliefs that the indigenous people of the Southeast Woodlands actually believed in, and some of these things we should be learning about and sharing, with incorporating with some of our own traditions, so that I'm sorry, put my mic on, hopefully y'all can hear me, so we can pass on to future generations. It says Southeastern communities traditionally has transmitted a variety of historical accounts, cultural narrative, and items of religious knowledge orally. See, passing it down from generation to generation as part of our culture as it is right now. That's how a lot of us know that we're indigenous here. It says, through the proliferation of scholarships have been made written accounts readily available over the last century and a half. In many cases, the preferred mode of transmission continued to be oral. The term cultural narratives is used in context of this article to refer to what is commonly called myths. This term implies cultural significance without signing a true value. While there are a variety of cultural narratives, Several southeastern communities share certain narratives in common, though individuals' details differ. Let's see what they have to say about these different cultures, the cultural narratives. It says here, certain of these narratives are of sacred character and are equal in significance in narratives containing the Holy Bible of other cultures. As in case of religious communities, individuals and Southeastern groups interpret these narratives in a variety of ways, both literally and metaphorically. Incorporate from information and assessments. These narratives can be used to explain current circumstances. For instance, how do people came to life where they do, and why they perform certain activities? Be they subsistence related or ceremonial. Other narratives, which sometimes are humorous, allegorical, highlights human foibles or are etymological. So, etymological. I was looking at this. Now, I could see how allegory it could be a part, but most of it has been description. The ones I've seen, like the emblem of America. I don't know if you all seen that. Let's see here. Let me see if I can pull it up. The emblem of America. For those of y'all who never heard of it, I have done it of America. There we go. Let's do the images. It's going to show the bald eagle, of course. But here it is right here, you guys. This is an emblem of Americans right here. It sort of tells the story of what took place with the indigenous people. It's one in particular that really bothers me. Here's one with the kids. Right here, this is pretty much what they did, was kidnapping the indigenous American Aborigines during the wars and became prisoners of wars, and they threw them in slavery. And that's how a lot of the history been erased. And then reclassifying them as African Americans. And you can see exactly what they're doing. This lady here is like forcefully indoctrinating and forcing the kids to assimilate into their culture. And that's how it was brainwashed, pretty much. And then it shows a picture of it up close of what the children look like. You see the dark skin, you see the hair, and this is 1798. This is what happened. And these are indigenous people. They're not Africans. They're not from Africa. These are the natives that were being killed and forced into slavery, pretty much. And let me see. This is the one that sort of makes me sad. This little girl. And then you see, this is another allegory. The parents of the tribe is trying to get their daughter back. And then if you look closely at this picture, it looks like she has slaves, chains behind her. Like she's chained up. And then the girl has tears in her eyes. And then you see the evil smirk of the gray caucasours right here. So this is an example of an allegory and how it was passed down. But these are from the Gray's point of view, and I'm pretty sure the indigenous, according to this article, I'm not sure if I wouldn't say that I would know for sure, but I would think that these people may have some allegories. These allegories of their own. I know for sure they have the didactic traditions of passing down stories from generation to generation, because I know that because my grandmother passed down the some stories and how things took place and explained to us what indigenous tribe we come from, which is Cherokee and Creek. So yeah, let's draw it down. I just wanted to give you an example of what the allegory is, and but from a Caucasian point of view, but also that I'm gonna have to research there to see if there's any indigenous American Aboriginal allegorical stories or humorous stories that has been passed down. I will have to look that up and see, but that would be interesting to find out. And it says here, both Cherokee and Makoki cultural narrative present cosmologies that are recognize different worlds or planes, including the world humans now inhabit, an underworld, a world above the sky. The middle world is conceived to be in a flat surface. Whoa. Surrounded by water, which is stone, sky vault, arches, and tilted daily to show beings and forced to pass between worlds. Okay. This is interesting. Daily allow beings and forces to pass between worlds. Interesting. Let me read that again. It says, over which a stone vault, arches, and tilts daily to allow beings and forces to pass between worlds. That's interesting. Very interesting. And it says other groups of humans like beings and also inhabit the middle world, including the little people, Cherokee, Yowie, and Tsundi, are recognized by many groups, mostly keeping to themselves. They are sometimes mischievous. Occasion presence is more dangerous. Okay, interesting. It's like they do have some little folk tales and stuff. Dealing with cosmology. I'll have to research some of this because it'll be interesting what kind of stories they pass down on that, and say little people. I wonder they mean similar to the leprechauns. That's in Ireland. Just curious. Including the little people. This is my first time hearing all of this. It's the other groups of human beings also inhabit the middle world, including the little people. And it says Cherokee. I guess they're talking about themselves. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to read this again, you guys. Let's go on, because I think it's interesting. They got some. I'm gonna have to read up and research more about this. Some of the stuff is new to me, but it says here Cherokee cosmology posits a tiered series of planes accumulating in seventh height, and it says here it was translated above. Or above everything, located above the sky vault. This is home to various forces, such as thunder and sun, as well as archetypical animals. Wow. I have to find out about this. It's like they had their own astrology. And it says here, typically the underworld does not have a negative moral value. Certain beings, such as the large horned snake and the panthers, made their home in the underworld. I didn't know that. Access through the rivers and streams and waterfalls. However, even such dangerous beings possess ambiguous attributes. The large horned snake, Cherokee, Acontia, for example, has a jewel-like crest on the forehead that is prized for its powers. The Makoki narrative tradition speaks of tie snakes as another such being. This is interesting. It's like they have different stories and accounts of not metaphoric, but folklores of some sort, I would think. I'm gonna have to read up on this. This is interesting. Like they have their own form of astrology and stories as it comes from the solar system and the universe. It would be interesting to know more in detail. See, this is new to me. I have to read up on this, you guys. If any of y'all are familiar with this, with American Aboriginal cosmology, and some of these traditions and folklores and everything, and astrology, of course. I would love to hear from you all because this is new to me. And I just wanted to share this part. That's why we need to learn and read up and study for ourselves so we can have a better idea and reconnect and share these experiences with our young people so that they have a legacy and know who they are and have an identity. That is very important. But this is all I'm going to talk about for today. We're going to stop here. on this section here, and next time we get back on here, we'll go to the next section, talk about the creation of the world and appearance of humans. But I wanted to share this article with you all, guys. I'm still learning and hoping you all, and you all are following along with me and growing too and learning too. We can learn from each other. But I would love to hear from you guys. And till next time, peace and love, family. Bye-bye. Peace.